amateur sports fans here in Regina. Sports on 3 here on Cable Regina is bringing one of the big RIFL football games of the 1988 season. This is going to pit the McGuigan Mustangs against the O'Neill Titans. Working with me, Jerry Thompson, working with me, Brian Duckett, the head coach of the Usher Unicorns in the 3A conference, the Stewart Conference of Rifle, and his team has played both of these teams this year. First of all, cross-street rivals, Brian, the McGuigan Mustangs.
Well, McGuigan's got a fairly even team. They've got two good running backs in the name of Bob Aldridge, number 35, and Mike Rutten, number 21. Whatever you do, you don't want to let Mike Rutten get any open field, or he's long gone for the big ones.
Their opposition this evening is a brand new team to Stewart Conference play. One of the big powers in rifle football here in Regina for years and years and years in the 4A conference has been the O'Neill Titans. A couple of years ago, a new high school opened up in the northwest and really cut into the population, and now one of the smallest high schools in the city. But this is the first year for the O'Neill Titans in the 3A conference, the Stewart Conference, and it's been an up-and-down season for them, Brian.
Yes, it has, Jerry. They've had some hot games. They have some cool games. For example, last week they went up against the first-place Notre Dame Hounds in the semifinals and beat them quite handily. They've got a couple of guys on their team that are serious contenders. Their quarterback, Marco Risi, and Jamie Splett, their tailback.
Right off the kickoff, we have number 33, Jason Kotick, returning a short kick right up the middle, up to about the 51-yard line of the O'Neill Titans, and that's an admirable place to begin the game, Brian.
Yes, it is, Jerry, especially with O'Neill. They've got a quarterback, as I said, Marco Risi, that can throw the ball, hand it off, and he's a very serious runner himself. He chalked up quite a few yards against our team the first time we saw him this year.
O'Neill comes out in an I formation. They've got a big story this year. Jamie Splett at the tailback behind Risi. There's a lead play in the B gap right side, and Splett is broken into the open, and this is the way to start a game. Jamie Splett will not be caught. That's a 59-yard touchdown run for Jamie Splett, first offensive play of the game.
On that play, Jerry, the O'Neill offensive line opened quite a hole for him, and he's a pretty serious runner. He drops those shoulders and he'll knock you over, and he was almost tackled once and he just kept on going. His feet wouldn't stop.
An excellent job of blocking there on the right side of the offensive line for the O'Neill Titans. Number 45, the right guard.
I believe his name is Brent Marcotte. He's an all-star.
Brent Marcotte, an all-star, and number 56, the right tackle, Kyle Hoffer, did an excellent job, as did the fullback, Chad Walbaum, and really an excellent play to start the game for O'Neill, and they're a hot team right now. The kick is good by
Doug Huber, number 32. Doug Huber last year for the O'Neill Titans was the quarterback. This year he is on their defensive middle linebacker as well as the backup tailback there.
Yeah, I believe that early in the year, the intent of the O'Neill coaching staff was to use him as the fullback. He injured himself, I believe, a separated shoulder early in the year, and such a fine job was done by Chad Walbaum that really Huber never did take back the spot, and really an excellent team. And I'll tell you what, Timmy Magoo coach football team is going to be a team that goes after you for 44 minutes. For 48 minutes, as there's 12-minute quarters in city final action, for 48 minutes non-stop. Back to receive the kick for the McGuigan Mustangs. Number 21, Mike Rutten, is going to gather up the ball. No, he's not. It goes to
Richard Hussett.
And he finds a nice seam up to what McGuigan can do to offset the big start by the Titans.
With their offense, Jerry, the man that you have to watch is Bob Aldridge. He's a big, hard-nosed running back, and he can break it for a long one, as I found out in our game against them.
In the semifinal, Brian.
Right.
Come out in the power I formation. Two big backs in front of Rutten, and they lead Rutten through the hole, and he's running hard. He's up. The ball's on the ground, and I believe the Mustangs have got it back, and that would have been just a terrible, terrible blow for the McGuigan Mustangs early in the game. Number 77 gathered in the ball for them. That's Borsa. It's second and very, very short for the McGuigan Mustangs. Less than a yard, and we'll have to see if they choose to go play action. There's a toss back to weak side. An excellent tackle from the outside in by the, I believe that's got to be the outside linebacker for the McGuigan Mustangs, or for the O'Neill Titans.
I believe it was 56, Jerry. Kyle Hofford is his name.
From the defensive end position, quick penetration, a short loss on the play. It's going to be third and about a yard and a half. McGuigan gambling. Power eye off to the right. All the power to the right. There's Rutten, a good seam kick next to the outside. It's a foot race to the corner. Rutten does not have the angle this time, and he's knocked out of bounds on an excellent tackle by the defensive back for the O'Neill Titans, number 17, Kelly Newman. Newman's not there. It's 6 for the Oregon.
As I said earlier, Mike Rutten, if you give him some open space, he's long gone. He's got that quick acceleration and speed.
This looks as though it could settle down to be a real barn burner, Brian. A battle of big points on the board. Less than 2 minutes gone in the game. 7 points on the board for O'Neill, and McGuigan on the move. This time it's the big fullback Aldridge who's hit in the backfield by the left defensive end for the McGuigan Mustangs. I had him here as number 72, Randy Krasinski.
And I believe number 45, Brent Marcotte, who's also one of the offensive linemen for O'Neill, was in on the assist as well.
About a 3-yard gain on good running by Aldridge as he was hit well in the backfield, and he got ahead for about 5 yards after the initial contact. It's going to be 2nd and 7 from the 25-yard line. Changing the I formation this time. Semi-roll. August looking downfield, overthrows his receiver, going for Rutten on a post pattern, but there's a flag down early. We'll have to wait and see what the referees can say about this.
Illegal procedure, 37 McGuigan, declined, 3rd down.
That was called against Rob McIntyre, that legal procedure call.
It's the field goal team that's in, and it looks as though it's going to be Aldridge attempting about a 32-yard field goal. The kick is up, but it's waggling off to the left, and it's bouncing around the 8-yard line. Going to be no yards on this play as the McGuigan Mustangs forgot that a field goal is technically a punt.
Paul Aldridge, during the regular season, was quite accurate on his field goal attempts. This seems to be an exception to what he can do.
McGuigan, 1st down.
It'll be a 1st and 10 for the O'Neill Titans on their own 18-yard line. And we'll have to see if they go right back to that same play, Brian, a blast or a lead play in the B gap to the right-hand side of the formation. They come out in the I formation with a tight end to the right. Now he's waggling out, and split end slot to the left. It is the same play, a blast. This time the McGuigan Mustangs are there, a whole horde of yellow shirts there to make the stop.
I believe he only got about 2 yards, 3 at the most on that play.
It's going to be 2nd and 8. It's a slot to the right this time. I formation still behind Rishi. There's the toss to Splet to the right-hand side. Makes a good cut back to the inside, and he's going to be ahead for what I think will be a 1st down, Brian. We'll have to wait for the spot of the official.
Okay, he did get the first down on that by about a half a yard extra.
It's going to be 1st and 10, and that's really important in high school football where the kicking game is generally not all that sound, that you really, when you're pinned down deep in your own end, you want to be able to move the ball out to the center part of the field. There's a quick dive to Wallbaum right behind the big right guard for the left guard for the Titans, Jason Capin. He's got about a 4-yard gain. Second and 6. There's a cutback to Splet. This time the Mustangs were there. I believe that was number 47 for the Mustangs. DeFossis, the nose tackle, was there to make the tackle.
Yes, games when we played against him, regular season and the playoffs, he had middle plugged up quite well. We couldn't run against him that much.
On 3rd and 2, the O'Neill Titans are going to be gambling. There's quarterback sneak. Ricci just puts his head down, and he's ahead for the first down easily. It's going to be 1st and 10 out across the 40-yard line for the O'Neill Titans. The offense for the O'Neill Titans features at center number 60, Brian Mazurkiewicz. The right guard is number 45, Brent Marcotte. Left guard number 57, Jason Type. Mentioned him already. The tackles are 56, Kyle Hoffert, and 66, Scott Waters. 1st and 10 from their own 42. There's the counter action to Splet, and he is met in the hole by number 37. That's Rob McIntyre. Very little gain on the play. Two big men meeting head to head.
That was a gain of about 2 yards, Jared. So it'll be 2nd and 8.
The wide receivers for O'Neill are number 9, Greg Green at the split end. The flanker, number 11, Derek Galanzowski. Slot back, number 17, Callie Newman. We've already mentioned that it's Chad Wallbaum in front of Jamie Splet in the I formation. Marco Ricci is the quarterback. Ricci behind the center. There's option. Ricci carries it up the B gap behind the fullback, and there's very little gain on the play. Leading the tacklers there for the Mustangs, number 67, Patterson. It's going to be 3rd down and about 5, and it looks as though the Titans are going to be punting the ball away. Snaps a little high, but it's gathered down, and the punt is away. Punting the ball is number 45, Brent Marcotte, one of their offensive linemen, and dancing down the sidelines, I believe that's number 21, Mike Rutten, and an awfully good return. 1st and 10 from about the 49-yard line of the McGuigan Mustangs. Looks to me, Brian, as though Mike Rutten has got a little bit of a limp there.
Yes, Mike Rutten in the second game of the season for McGuigan stretched some ligaments in his foot, and he was out most of the season. I believe he only played about 3.5 full games in regular season, plus last week against us in the semifinals. So he hasn't seen that much action out of the full season.
It's certainly a credit to the McGuigan Mustangs that they've been able to do as well as they have without them. The ball is down. There seems to be some miscommunication between Brian August, the quarterback, Mike Rutten, the tailback, as the ball was on the ground and is gathered in by a blue shirt.
Yeah, the fumble was recovered by number 37, Jamie Splet.
Splet, a two-way player, as well as being their tailback, doubles as one of their inside linebackers in that 35-look defense that's become so popular the last few years in high school football. It's going to be 1st and 10 from about the 50-yard line of the McGuigan Mustangs. Ricci, the quarterback, awfully quick of foot, likes to carry the ball, but's got a decent arm as well. Second back through is Splet. He's met in the hole, but he's a big, big young man, and he barges ahead for 4.5 yards.
On this O'Neill team, they have some good two-way players. Splet was mentioned. Brent Marcotte is a two-way player, plus the punter. They have some good utility men that can do the job for them on this team.
And any team that's coached by Tim Magoo, as I've mentioned already, is going to have lots of heart, lots of hustle. They're going to be playing hard the whole way. Motion motion across to Trips. Here's a counter, looked like to the slot back Newman. He's got some room to the outside. It's a foot race to the outside, but he's taken down by McIntyre, I believe, after the first down. It was Rob McIntyre from his backer position.
And he was assisted on that by Zamboccini.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the O'Neill Titans, and so far, a very, very good game plan. Certainly an outstanding coaching staff put together over at O'Neill in trying circumstances. Head coach from outside the school and a number of the old boys come back to help out. Here's a quarterback keeper. He's looking left. Good cut by Reese. He lowers his head and he bangs the head for about a 7-yard gain. And not very big in stature, but big in heart.
Well, he caught number 56 coming in. He dropped his head and hit him right in the chest and knocked him over and kept on going for a few more yards. That's what makes Marco so dangerous. He can do whatever has to be done. Run, hand off, or pass.
Big 8-yard gain. It's 2nd and 2 from about the 24-yard line. I was busy looking at the formation, Brian. I think the tight end or the split end, one of the two, was at the wrong side of the formation. Fortunately, the officials didn't notice it. Fortunately for the O'Neill side, as I think they were missing an end on the near side. In any event, about a 1-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 1. In a balance with the slot back to the right. This time, I formation. We'll have to see if Split gets the ball. This quarterback keep. His feet slip a little bit. I think he might have had the first down. Timmy McGuigan obviously a little concerned about it. It looked initially as though he was going to get the first down, but he slipped down. We'll have to wait for the spot. And the referees are calling for the stick. Mentioning that off the coaching staff for the O'Neill Titans, Brian, an excellent crew of people. All of them, I see Ronnie Fro there with head coach Tim McGuigan watching attentively to see what happens here. All of them former players with the O'Neill Titans back in its glory years here. All of them gone on to play some ball with the Regina Rams and instrumental in some of the big years with Regina Rams. They're putting something back into high school football. It gave them something and they're returning the favor. 1st and 10 for the O'Neill Titans. There's option. Look, that's wall bomb straight ahead. B gap. Going to have a couple yards.
Mentioning the coaching staff again, Jerry, I think you're starting to find more and more in the rifle that your graduates, ex-Rams that played for your high school team are coming back and putting something back into the team that they played for at one time.
And certainly Regina High School football is improving constantly, year after year, getting better. There's the toss to Split to the right. He might have the corner, lowers his head, but there are a whole horde of yellow orange shirts there, and he's driven back. He's going to be well short of the first down.
Okay, he was met there by Mike LaFontaine, the outside linebacker, as well as Mike Rutten, the safety, number 21. Okay, it's 3rd down and 5 yards to go. O'Neill's got their field goal team in with the place kicker, number 32, Doug Huber.
Doug Huber, he kicks the ball, excellent leg, and that is well deep into the end zone, and that was a 25-yard field goal, and that gives a 10-0 lead for the O'Neill Titans over the McGuigan Mustangs. There are 49 seconds remaining to be played here in the first quarter of the city championship, the Stewart Conference City Final. 10-0 O'Neill Titans.
Didn't beat the Mustangs. They were up on them, Jerry. McGuigan came back in the second half, in particular the fourth quarter, to beat them by, I believe it was only about 4 points or something like that. McGuigan lost 2 games this year in total, and that was both to Notre Dame.
I'll tell you, having spent a couple of years coaching at Usher along with you, Brian, I do know this, that Darryl Puskas, Billy Brennan coached football team is one that can never be counted out. A 10-0 lead really is not a very significant lead this early in a game. Certainly they've got the firepower at McGuigan to put 10 points or more on the board very, very quickly.
McGuigan has been behind in the past, and they've come back. They've got a good coaching staff over there as well.
Here's the cutback to the fullback, number 35, Bob Aldridge, and there's very little in the middle of the line for him to get. Number 72 was there for the Mustangs, for the Titans, Randy Shrashensky, and he's filling from his defensive end position.
And Brent Marcotte again, number 45, was there to assist him. So Marcotte's in there just about every play.
Second and 8.5, 8 yards to go for the Mustangs. Motion across, McIntyre. Here's the leadoff tackle to Rutten, finds the seam, but a pile of blue shirts are on top of him, and they're gang tackling for O'Neill tonight. Playing with a lot of determination, a lot of fire.
The initial hit there was by number 37, Jamie Splett.
McGuigan Mustangs getting ready to punt the ball right from center field. Good snap. And an excellent punt away. It's gathered in by Newman. Newman has trouble holding on to the ball, gathers it up at his own 23, and he's dragged out of bounds at the 25-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the O'Neill Titans at that point. And again, Chad Walbaum will be at the front of the eye with Big Jamie Splett behind him. That's a pretty big tandem of running backs, looking particularly big in front of Marco Risi, their quarterback. Trips off to the left this time. Lots of motion. It's a quarterback keeper off a fake-off tackle to the tailback. A flag comes down. We'll have to wait for the official call, but I think it might be a face mask.
I believe it is.
See the officials congregating and discussing the situation. Talking to the O'Neill captain. And they're definitely nodding. They're going to take whatever the penalty is. We'll wait for the official call.
Unnecessary roughness on the face mask. 77 orange. 1st down.
Number 77 is Borsa for the Corey Borsa for the one of their rover backs, inside halfbacks, I guess it would be, for the McGuigan Mustangs. 1st and 10 from the 41. Second back through is Splett, and good tackle on the ankle. Saved him from going a long way. I believe that the only man between him and the goal line was number 85 who made the tackle, and that's Jody Sutherland. But a 7-yard gain as a result of that fine tackle by Sutherland. It's going to be 2nd and 3.5. Human slot to the right. High formation again. Second back through is Splett, going off tackle left this time, lowers his head, and Mike Rutten is there to wrap him up, but not till he has a 1st down, out near center field. With 10:19 remaining in the second quarter of play, the score 10-0 for the O'Neill Titans, and really, Brian, every time they've touched the ball, they've been able to put together a series of 1st downs. Right now, they lead the Mustangs 6 1st downs to 1, as well as 10-0 on the really important stat. Quarterback keeping Ricci looking out. Srachensky is open, gets the ball to him, an excellent ball that takes him down to about the 33-yard line. Srachensky coming from his tight end position, left isolated on the backside.
He had a step or two there, Jerry, on number 11, Zambacini. Number 11 for McGuigan. He's quite quick. He can, if he makes a mistake, he can get back into the play and make those tackles, which he did in that situation there.
Certainly in high school ball, it is a game of errors. That time, O'Neill came out in a set that was really a passing kind of set, as they are again with the trips to the right. and came back to weak side. Coming back to weak side again on the counter play, what we at Tom call the cross, with a little trap block, and Split got a couple of yards.
Tackle on that play, Jerry, is made by number 77, Corey Borsa from McGuigan.
Corey Borsa, I believe, an all-star, Brian, this year.
Yes, he was. Corey Borsa was the offensive tight end, all-star.
Newman drops the ball on the counter, manages to pick it up, and he's going to be knocked back for about an 8-yard loss. But I'll tell you, if there hadn't been a problem on the exchange, we could have had a 6 on the board.
Yeah, there's a big gaping hole for him to go through.
Thus, our game's won and lost, however. Little misunderstandings, mishandlings like that can be so important in high school football. Kelly Newman, they already carried the ball once on that play, Brian, for an excellent run. That time unable to get the handle on it. I'm sure we're going to see that play again. Once more back to punt is going to be Marcotte, their two-way player as well as the punter. Excellent snap. And a good towering punt that's driving them back to the 10-yard line. I don't believe Rutten touched the ball, so O'Neill has got to watch out for the no yards, and unfortunately they don't. Up there is number 57 for the Titans, Jason Cape, their left guard, and I think he's flagged for a no yardage infraction. And the only rule that's different about Regina High School football from any other amateur football in Canada is the fact that no yards is a 10-yard penalty rather than the 15 yards. So right now they're discussing whether they want to give up the single point, I believe, and move it out to the 45-yard line, take the penalty after the single point, or just move it out to about the 8-yard line. We'll have to wait and see what the decision is. First and 10 from their own 35 for the McGuigan Mustangs, now down 11-0. Certainly not a prohibitive lead. Split backs this time, split to either side, and there's the give straight ahead. I believe that was Rob McIntyre from one of the halfback positions. I just got a quick glance at the number.
And there was a fumble in there too, Jerry, and I believe by the list of the O'Neill players, they have recovered it. Right on the handoff.
Yes, they have. It's going to be first and 10 for the O'Neill Titans, and so far in this game, the big plays have all been bouncing toward the blue and gold.
Well, O'Neill doesn't let down. They keep coming at you and at you and at you until you make a mistake, and then they capitalize on it. That's what makes them coming from 4th place up into the city championships right now.
That's certainly the personality of their head coach. I think a team does reflect its head coach, and Tim Magoo is, if nothing else, was certainly known for his tenacity. Certainly one of my favorite amateur football players of all time. There's Split on the lead to the B gap to the left side this time, and he's ahead for a good 7-yard gain. A flag came down relatively late, and I think we might see a roughing penalty against O'Neill.
The referee's talking to the O'Neill players, and he's making his call right now.
On the face mask, 67, McGuigan, first down.
Well, that's why I'm not a referee. I'm just merely a coach, Brian. I have no idea what's happening on the field. It was rough play, all right, against McGuigan. And that's a big penalty because it moves O'Neill down to the 15-yard line. Well, first and 10.
That's McGuigan's second roughing on the face mask call tonight, and it's cost him 30 penalty yards.
And at critical times as well. Here's the counter to Split. He cuts back to the inside, and he's got a 5-yard gain, down to about the 10. Tell you what, I may not know about penalties, but I do know this about football. If you can run the ball for a consistent 5 yards every time, you've got yourself a pretty good offensive drive happening. Second and 5 from the 10. 7 minutes and a half remaining in the first half of the Stewart Conference City Championship. All the three holies on the line, as they say. Oh, I think there may be a procedure penalty here. Obviously, all kinds of miscommunication happening. Malfunction at the junction is one of my all-time least favorite players, or commentators, Freddie Fleming used to say. You care to speculate on what that was?
I'm not sure myself, Jerry. I believe it was the slot back was coming across and ran into the fullback coming towards the line, which plugged up the tailback, so he couldn't get the ball the way he should have been.
O'Neill, illegal procedure, no end. Declined, third down.
Okay, and the decision by Daryl Buskus, the head coach over at McGuigan, is to decline the penalty. There's perhaps a short loss on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Rather than giving him a second down situation, another kick at the cat. And it looks as though the Titans are putting their field goal team on the field again. It's a beautiful night for football if you're a kicker. It's a little bit chilly, but there's absolutely no wind. It's dead calm. I know, because for the first time on record, our convert kicker made all 3 converts tonight. And it's right through there. Again, Doug Huber splits the upright. 3 more points going to the O'Neill side of the scoreboard. Score moves to 14-0.
McGuigan was coming with everything there. They had 4 guys coming in from their right-hand side of the line to make that block, and Huber got the ball up and through before they could get there.
I'm not sure what decision has been. Oh, apparently McGuigan has decided they'll receive a kickoff at the after that field goal being registered, and they've got their 2 big backs, or 2 speed backs back there, number 33, who I believe filled Rutten's shoes when Rutten was injured.
Right.
Young grade 9 student or grade 10 student, Richard Hussett.
Right, when Mike Rutten went down in the second game, Richard Hudson came in and played the next couple of games for him. He did a very admirable job for him. He's got the speed. You let him get outside, and he's also one of these speed balls that can hurt you badly as well.
I want to know where all these high schools in the North End get speed, Brian. I know that we at Tom have virtually none whatsoever, and I know that when I was at Usher, and you're at Usher still, that there's some speed there, but not nearly enough. There's Rutten. Up across the 40.
For some reason, McGuigan, at least between McGuigan and Usher, McGuigan's always seemed to have the fast speed running backs. We have the slower guys that are dogging out the yards, but they seem to have those breakaway players that can harm you in any given day or any given game.
Boy, there's nothing like having a little speed to get to the perimeter when high school football. Pretty easy to put 6 on the boards if you got the speed merchant. And McGuigan's got a couple of them, so this 14-0 lead really doesn't mean all that much this early in the game. There's a 2-step drop by August, throws the ball out for Rutten just beyond his reach. Awfully good coverage by the backer. Coming from his inside backer position was Jamie Spleck, and he was dogging it right along there with Mike Rutten.
In that play there, Rutten comes up into a blocking back position. As soon as the ball is snapped, he releases and he's gone out into the flats.
2nd and 10 from their own 41. Brian August, the quarterback. Bob Aldrich and Mike Rutten as the back. 2-step drop again. He's going downfield. Seemed to be some kind of miscommunication, as I believe that he assumed that Rob McIntyre was running a fly down the hash marks, and McIntyre brought it to the post. In any event, it's going to be 3rd and 10. Punting team is on for the Mustangs, and right now only one returner back for O'Neill Titans, number 11, Derek Galanzowski, and that, to me, generally implies that there's a well-coached young man here. Kelly Newman, just miraculous injury, is writhing in pain on instructions from his coach. He'll be back the next play, but there seemed to be some confusion with the O'Neill team about, he's got a terrible cramp, about what exactly is going on. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm relatively certain that this is a ploy by the Titans to get some information onto the field.
From my head count, Jerry, there was only 10 players out there on the punt return that time, so I don't think that would have anything to do with the cramp that just happened to hit his leg at the last split second or anything.
Tell you, they're working on it as though he does have a leg cramp, and maybe it does. It's just that I happened to be watching him as he waved at the the bench, and then he said something went toppling to the turf. Maybe we're
O'Neill,
assuming.
first down.
I'm afraid I didn't hear what the call was because I was yapping when we should have been listening. But Kelly Newman was called for some penalty or other, and I got to believe that the officials agreed that he intentionally went down. And Tim McGuigan was anything but happy about that call. In any event, it's 1st and 10 for McGuigan, and that might just be the play that turns it around for them.
O'Neill's calling a timeout right now. Coach McGuigan was out on the field giving the timeout signal, and they've got their timeout, first one in this half.
You know, right now, I think from a coaching point of view, the Titans have got things going their way. Their team is playing very, very aggressive, very tough-minded football, and I think they want to avoid letting a small situation like that magnify itself, become too big. I think they just want their kids to continue to play that aggressive style that they've played so far, and things will work out for them. Right ends, power eye, and it looks like a toss to Rutten to the left side. A man is unblocked there, manages to turn him back inside. That was number 33 for the Titans who turned him back to the inside. That's Jason Kotick, the outside backer. Does a good job, and then there's a whole horde of blue shirts there to finish him off. Man injured for the Titans, or for the Mustangs, Corey Borsa. They're fined to a player. He's got a bit of a limp as he goes back to the huddle. 2-yard gain to be 2nd and 8. 5 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in the first half of the Stewart Conference City Championship game. The winner of this game, Brian, I believe, has a bye now into the provincial semifinals. The winner of this game will play the winner of a game between Yorkton and Swift Current for the Southern representation.
Right.
There's the lead to the right. An excellent play. Rutten kicked it to the outside, and now it's a foot race to the corner. Whether 28 has got the angle on him, no, he does not. Mike Rutten able to run away from the maul for the touchdown. Valiant effort by Corey Sayer from his halfback position, but too much speed on the corner. Mike Rutten, big touchdown.
Mike Rutten was in the grasp. He broke away from the grasp of O'Neill player, cut back against the grain, and went in for a touchdown. As I said earlier, he is dangerous when he gets going.
He has a nose for that open area because, as you said, there was contact downfield, and he just kicked her to the outside, and about a 55-yard touchdown run by Mike Rutten, and 14-6 now with the extra point to come. Flag is down. Normally in this situation, it's going to be an offside penalty against the defending team. That's normally applied on the kickoff. I think the referee is explaining to them that they have a choice of taking half the distance to the goal line and re-kicking, or running a 2-point convert, or applying it to the kickoff. We'll wait for the official call. One of the things that the coaching staff that I work with, and I'm sure your coaching staff has noticed it as well, Brian. I'll get back to this after the call. Well, it was offside. I didn't catch the number. Had some kind of a technical problem there, but we can see that the ball is being spotted.
Applied on the kickoff. Okay, guys, wait for my whistle, okay?
I think he's got the switch backwards there. Now we could hear it. It's applied on the kickoff. He's going to wait for his whistle to get the play started. What I was going to say, Brian, is that the quality of officiating in the RIFL, I think, is matching the quality of play. The play is getting better and better, and I think the officiating is getting better and better, partly because the guys have been here a long time, and partly because of the young guys working up. There's Split on the return, lowers his shoulder, and he drags a whole mess of people up across the 45. Flags come down, we'll have to wait till the end pile. But what a good way to answer a touchdown drive. Excellent return.
Getting back to the officiating, Jerry, there's good rapport between the high school football league and the Referees Association. We have a liaison committee between the two groups, and I think that improves. When there are problems with rules or officiating, and you can sit down and talk about it, it vastly improves the game.
Yeah, certainly. I know that Ken Pickett is the official who's their liaison, and our commissioner Doug Folk with rifle, and really things are so outstandingly good right now in our league in terms of the communication between the officials and the coaches, and that says positive things about our game and about high school sport in general. First and 10 from about their own 42-yard line. Oh, some problem. I think maybe the play wasn't ready to come back in yet. I'm not really sure. They're just re-snapping it, so I guess the official time hadn't been blown back in yet. First and 10 for O'Neill at their own 42-yard line. Ricci, the quarterback. Here's a quarterback keeper going to the left, cuts it up, finds a good seam, kicks it to the outside, and a good tackle is applied there by number 27 for the Mustangs. His number Hussett, one of the Hussett brothers.
I believe it's Sherlin Hussett.
Sherlin Hussett. An excellent tackle at the feet of Marco Ricci, or big yards on the board. In any event, still a 5-yard gain for this quick young O'Neill quarterback. I have to say something nice about my brother. He brought me a Diet Coke. Coaching with us at Tom. He's a fabulous human being. That time, McGuigan is there. That blast that O'Neill's run with pretty good success so far in the game. A big touchdown to start the game is stoned that time. Leading the tacklers is a big nose tackle, number 47. And I'm sorry about the mispronunciation of the name, Mike DeFossi. I should let you pronounce all the tough ones. I'll take Smith and Jones. You take the rest.
Okay, fine.
Third and about 4. 3 minutes and 39 seconds remaining, and this is how high school football can change, Brian. With 3 minutes left to play, McGuigan could well put together a good march, and from being down 14-0, they could well go in at the half tie. Good pressure by O'Neill, but a good punt that's going to go out of bounds. No, it's not. It's bouncing around, and no yards, unfortunately, against the O'Neill Titans. They were down there a little bit too enthusiastic in recovery. Good bounce from McGuigan back towards the O'Neill players.
McGuigan in the first part of the game, they started making a few mistakes, and
let's wait and see what the call is.
There's no flag on the play. First down.
Yeah, I think that what happened there is that they realized quite properly that the O'Neill players were trying to get out of the 5-yard zone. That they hadn't, they weren't involved in tackling early. They didn't gain any advantage in being the inside. And I think that's an excellent call by the officials. First and 10 from the 41-yard line. There's the fullback dive. That's Aldridge, I believe, from his fullback position. Bob Aldridge got about a 4-yard gain. Good tackle applied in the middle. I couldn't see the O'Neill player, but it looked like Aldridge was going to have big yards, and suddenly he was hit solidly. And Aldridge is a big young man, Brian. He's got to be around 200 pounds.
He is quite a big man. Good hard running back. He doesn't hesitate to drop that shoulder and just run over top you rather than trying to step around you.
I've got to believe that was the middle backer of the 35 defense, number 32, Doug Huber, who met him in the hole. Motion across by McIntyre. Looking downfield, and I'm not sure whether that was intended for the tight end Ursuline or Aldridge McIntyre out of the wingback position. In any event, it's going to be third down and about 6.
I believe that was intended for McIntyre, but instead of turning upfield, he looked downfield back towards his quarterback.
2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the first half of this game. Score 14-7 for the O'Neill Titans, and I think a lot of people expected the McGuigan Mustangs to be here in the city championship game. I don't think many people outside of the O'Neill expected the Titans to be here, but they're really giving us a game tonight. Ball's gathered out. It's a foot race to the sideline. Good cutback. A horde of orange shirts is there to drag down Derek Galanzowski, but that's an excellent return back across his own 50. 52-yard line is first and 10. O'Neill Titans. Again, awfully good line work so far. Brian Mazurkiewicz at the center, Marcotte and Cape the guards, Hoffert and Waters the tackle. They've been doing a good job opening big holes. Play action and trying to go to Shrachensky is Reese, and the ball is just about picked off on the corner, but it's dropped. Out there in the corner was number 27, Sherlin Huffett. Going to be 2nd and 10. A beautiful night for football. High school ball here in Regina. A little bit nippy, but beautiful weather in terms of wind. There's a counter to Newman. He's managed to dip and dart and drag, and he's ahead for about a 7-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 3. Tim McGuigan's got decision time. 2:27 remaining in the half. I'm sure the Titans would love to maintain control of the football for the half, but deciding that those closer to 4, that the 4 yards is too much, they've got the punting team on. Doug Huber will handle the punting for you. Quite a story, young Doug Huber, just as we're waiting for the team to appear. I can remember 2 years ago in the spring, we run a football coaches clinic here. A guy named Don Reed, who was the head coach at the University of Montana, came up to do a clinic and got some high school players to throw the ball for him so he could show us some drills. And he was awfully impressed with Doug Huber's arm. He just has a cannon for an arm, and now he's a linebacker. Big, young, tough young man, and sideline for Mike Rutten. That's 6. Barring penalty, there's no one going to catch that young man, and that's his 2nd big play. Good way to end the half, or not quite end it. About less than 2 minutes left in the half, and Mike Rutten knots this game. And we mentioned the possibility of this happening, Brian.
Right. The punt was kicked off to O'Neill's left side, which is Rutten's side on the return. His returning team set up a wall right along the sidelines. No one even came close to touching him.
I know that just on the way here, up in the press box at Taylor Field, there are a handful of Regina Rams coaches. Of course, they're interested in the prospect, and right now they're watching Mike Rutten with those 2 big runs and maybe rubbing their hands together a little bit gleefully. There's no substitute for speed on any level of football. The extra point is good. The score is knotted at 14 apiece, and what a game this is turning out to be. There's nothing like high school football for excitement and drama. The man can do his stuff. That's Newman about his own 15-yard line. Straight up the middle for Newman, and he's dragging people ahead to the 44. And I like this young guy. I like the way that Kelly Newman runs the ball every time he gets his hands on it. About a minute 49 remaining in the first half of play, and things really slowed down a lot for a portion late in the first quarter or early part of the second quarter, but suddenly there's been a lot of happening here on venerable old Taylor Field. In that trips formation with twin slots off to the right. Play action. Reese buying time by dragging out. He waves his people downfield. Excellent ball, and unfortunately, number 11, Galanzowski, made an excellent adjustment of the ball, caught the ball, but his left foot was out of bounds, and boy, that was good athletic ability by Marco Reese, throwing on the dead run. .141 remaining. We get a break here, Brian. Maybe we should go over the All-Stars who were presented their awards before tonight's game for the Stewart Conference. Ball's on the ground. Reese had trouble handling the snap. McGuigan says they have the ball. It doesn't matter what they say until an official says it. And he does. It's McGuigan ball. 45-yard line.
Talking about the Stewart All-Stars, Gary, the quarterback was number 20, Marco Risi from the O'Neill Titans. 3 running backs, number 26, Ryan Williams from Notre Dame. He was the league's top rusher this year. Number 35 from McGuigan, Bob Aldridge. And number 20 from Luther, Jason Dahm.
From the 45-yard line of the O'Neill Titans, it's 1st and 10 for McGuigan. McIntyre in motion. There's the handoff to Rutten, and he's met in the hole. I believe that that's number 72, Shrachensky, from the defensive end position, and there's a loss on the play of maybe 4.
Getting back to the All-Stars, at wide receiver was number 70, Don Blair from Notre Dame. 2 tight ends, number 14, Joey Brewster from Robert Usher. Joey was the top pass receiver this year in the Stewart Conference. And number 77 from McGuigan, Corey Borsa.
Second and about 13 and a half for the Mustangs. Lots of motion out of the backfield. Brian August reversing out, throwing the ball. I believe that is Rob McIntyre gathering in the ball. Yes, it is McIntyre from his, Aldrich from the fullback position, leaking out into the flats, and he's got himself a first down. I believe at about the 31-yard line. What about those linemen on the All-Star team, Brian?
Okay, at offensive tackle was Kyle Hoffert of O'Neill, and then there was a three-way tie for the other tackle spot. Number 67, Wayne Patterson from McGuigan. Number 61, Jeff Obergewich from McGuigan. And number 53, Sheldon Chinoka from Usher.
Reverse out, that's Rutten with the ball. Nice cut back to the weak side, seeing the seam. He's got about a 4-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and 6.
And finishing off the line for the All-Stars, number 58 from Usher, Derek Niles. Number 44, Larry Grabadinger from McGuigan. And at center, number 52, Jason Campbell from Usher. Place kicker was number 77, Dwayne Nagy from Usher. And the punter, number 9, Todd Reed from Usher. Todd Reed being a grade 9 player.
And the backup quarterback, I believe.
As well as backup quarterback.
A fine young man as well. I think you got to be excited about that young man in the future. There's Aldrich kicking it to the outside. It looked like he was tackled for very little gain, but boy, he just dropped the shoulder and kicked it outside. He's down to about the 11-yard line. 1st and 10 at that point. 49 seconds remaining in the half. Lots of time for the McGuigan Mustangs to put some more points on the board. And amazing how the tide turned.
Right, we mentioned just a while back that if McGuigan could get a touchdown to get something positive going, it would help him.
August, the quarterback. Reverse out, that's, pardon me, that was McIntyre leading. That was Aldrich getting the ball, and he decided he was going to do it the fancy way. None of the straight ahead touchdown for him. He dribbled it in for 6. Big gaping hole on the left side of the offensive line, and that was Grabeldinger, whom you mentioned was an all-star, and Patterson, whom you mentioned was an all-star, leading the blocking on that side.
McGuigan's fired up right now, and O'Neill's going to have to get tougher in those trenches to stop him, because once McGuigan gets rolling, they're hard to stop.
Snaps a little high, but it's gathered down, and the single point is kicked by Aldrich, and the score goes 21-14 for the McGuigan Mustangs. I know that young Marco Ricci has got outstanding feet. Brian, how's his arm? I think we might see the possibility of putting the ball up at this time. Has he got the arm?
He's got a good arm. He with his fake ability and bootlegging ability, he has a good arm, and he can get that ball downfield when needed.
That's Jamie Splett, and the C gap lead got himself about a 7 or 8 yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and short, perhaps 2 or 3 yards for O'Neill. 21 seconds remaining in the half. 2nd and 3 for the O'Neill Titans, right about at center field, or center ice as Chuck Toth likes to call it. Lots of heat by Ricci, by McIntyre. Throws it back by excellent hands by his left guard, number 56, I believe that is. Yes, it is. And Fred Marcotte gathers the ball in, but he's unable to pick up too much. As we wait and see things unwind here, we'll have to wait and see what the final determination is. Unnecessary roughness.
McGuigan on the passer. Ineligible receiver. O'Neill. First down.
But I tell you, some of the time in high school ball, when you get all these multiple penalties, you virtually need a postgraduate degree in quantum mechanics or something to figure out what the end result is going to be. They figured out it's 1st and 10 for O'Neill at the 51-yard line of the McGuigan Mustangs. 12 seconds remaining in the half. Of course, with the penalty, the ball or the clock will not start until the ball is snapped. 33 defense for the McGuigan Mustangs. Ball's downfield, and it's a little volleyball action, high tip, 6 seconds off the clock, 6 seconds remaining. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Reese throwing downfield, and it's going to be picked off by number 77, that's Bortha, who gathers it in, takes it up to his own 42-yard line where he's tackled. And the first half of the Stewart Conference City Championship game comes to a conclusion with the McGuigan Mustangs in the front, 21-14 over the O'Neill Titans, and we're looking forward to an exciting second half. 21 Mike Rutten. Here's the kick by Huber, and it's gathered in by Rutten. Rutten trying to find the right side. There's a bit of a seam there. He kicks it outside again, and finally he's dragged down about his own 47-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 48 for the McGuigan Mustangs. Claire mentioned was that Derek Niles reminds him a lot of a guy he used to play football with the Rams, a guy named Brent McConnell. Same kind of aggressive attitude. There's a quick give up the middle to Aldridge. He's got about a 5-yard gain. Pretty hard to stop a 200-pound-plus fullback in high school who runs with some kind of authority, and that's certainly the case with Aldridge.
And he also has the speed. Once he breaks through there, he has speed that can take him downfield quite quickly, as well as the power to go through the line on the pile-ups.
It's about 2nd and 5 for the Mustangs. 6 foot, about 195, 200 pounds. The ball is delivered downfield to the split end, the flanker rather. Pardon me, they had Mike Rutten running that streak pattern on the outside. I think he went as an early slot back, and the ball just not able to make the connection. It's going to be 3rd down, about 5 for the Mustangs, and they've got their punt team on. Returning the punter for O'Neill. Back are number 11, Derek Galanzowski, their starting flanker, and starting slot back, number 17, Kelly Newman. Snap is bobbled, and running the ball now is Aldrich, trying to find some room, and Strachensky drags him down. I'm going to wait for the spot on this, Brian. It's going to be awfully close to a first down, and we were right about the strength of this young man. We'll have to wait and see. It's right across the field from the down markers, but it's going to be awfully close to a first down. I think they have to make it right to the 52, and they seem to be right on the 52. I think that's probably a first down. And the big play if Aldridge managed to drag those guys ahead for a first down for McGuigan, 2-yard line. There's the ball, that time to 37, Rob McIntyre from his power back situation. That time they rather unusual play. They used fullback Aldrich and Rutten the tailback to lead block for the power back. He's got about a 7-yard gain. Good play for the Mustangs.
That's the one thing about McGuigan's offense. They keep you off guard. They can give the ball to any one of 3 people, and those 3 people can block for whoever they have to. So it keeps your defense off guard as to watch and see who's got the ball.
McIntyre even bigger than Aldrich at 6'1", 210. This time the ball is given to Rutten, and virtually no gain on the play. That's Strachensky there to make the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down and about 2.5 to 3 yards. Well, there was a short gain on the play. It is 3rd and 1. There's reverse out. The ball's given to Rutten, and he's got a seam and just about breaks it all the way, but he is down to the 25. Excellent speed, and got a real nose for the open area. He saw the seam and slid into it very, very quickly.
Aldridge, 35 from McGuigan, got up rather slowly. Looks like he's hurt his back a bit.
We'll keep our glasses on Aldrich this play and see how he performs. Of course, an instrumental member of that offense. And he got the ball and he got hit. Jamie Slett met him in the hole, and that's two big young men. Both of them 6 foot, around 200 pounds, and big collision. Short gain on the play, maybe 3-4 inches. Second down, virtually 10 yards to go. 8 minutes and a half remaining in the third quarter of this play. McGuigan, having trailed at one time 14-0, coming back now, taking the lead 21-14. Still trailing, incidentally, 5-9 in terms of first down. Two-step drop and throwing the ball out to the corner. That's number 81 there, flanker Klein, and he gathers it up. Perhaps a short gain of 3 or 4 on the play. It's going to be third down about 7. Aldrich delivers the ball into the end zone, and Newman about to give up 1 point. They'll be scrimmaging the ball from their own 35, but the single point does register on behalf of McGuigan. They take an 8-point lead, and of course, in terms of the 2-point convert, that still one converted touchdown can bring about the tie, but it puts a little pressure on the defense. Score now: McGuigan 22, O'Neill 14. Should mention while we got the break here, Brian, this is, I think, the 35th year that the Kiwanis Club of Wascana has been affiliated with Regina Intercollegiate Football League, and really this fine high school activity couldn't go ahead without the work of these men. Here's Flett cutting it back. It looked as though the play was originally designed to go off tackle, cuts it back to the A or B gap. Short gain on the play of perhaps 3. Both of these schools, incidentally, have good crowd support tonight. It's not too cold to play football, but it's a pretty chilly night for sitting around watching football. But both teams have got good crowd support and hardly cheering on their hometown favorites. Good run by Ricci. Finds the outside. A flag comes down, and boy, did I like the block that Jamie Flett put on number 35. Bob Aldrich from his outside backer position. I thought that he was collapsing the pocket. There was an enormous impact, and Ricci came spurting out and picked up good yards.
Holding, O'Neill number 72, second down repeated.
Number 72, of course, is their fine tight end, Randy Schwachensky. It's going to be second and about 20 yards to go for the first down. Second and 17. Newman in the slot to the right. Galanzowski split out as the flanker left. With motion, flag is down, throwing it into Newman, and tough pass to deliver. That was Sherlin Hussett there with the defensive coverage for McGuigan. Flag down, and they're talking, I believe, to the O'Neill captain. No, I think just explaining things. Looks as though the call's going against them.
Offside, McGuigan number 35, second down repeated.
Pardon me, that's Aldridge from his outside backer position is offside. It's going to be second down again. It'll move down to about 12 to go for O'Neill. Second and 12. Trailing by 8 points here, about halfway through the third quarter. Bootleg by Ricci, throws the ball up, Newman running right through the tackle. I believe that was number 21 Rutten there for the Mustangs. It might have been 27. In any event, it looked as though it was excellent coverage by the Mustangs, but Newman just refusing to go down, and he pops it ahead for a first down from the 46 rather. Flett picks up 4 as he runs the toss to the right. A little bit of confusion there as it looked as though the pulling guard and the tailback had a collision.
McGuigan in the first half seemed to be 1-2 tacklers. Now they're starting to gang tackle a little more, and they're slowing the O'Neill Titan running backs down by doing that.
Second and 6. And that trips right, double slot to the right. Strachensky, the lone receiver to the left. Lots of heat on Reese. He gets the ball off just before he is leveled, and he's knocked to the ground by, I believe that was number 36. Yes, it is number 36 for the McGuigan Mustangs.
The O'Neill lineman must have been asleep on that one because they got quite quickly through there and put the pressure on Reese to make that throw.
That was that bootleg action that Reese likes to run, and that time it was well defensed by the front line of the McGuigan defense. Huber's punt is going to bounce and goes out of bounds about the 39-yard line of the McGuigan Mustangs. 5:33 remaining. Pardon me, Marcotte's punt. First and 10 for McGuigan. See what they can do. They've been about halfway through the second quarter. Really, they've taken the sting out of the O'Neill offense, and conversely, they've managed to move the ball pretty well at will. We'll have to see if they can continue that trend.
O'Neill had a couple of letdowns. McGuigan capitalized on it, and they're not ready to relinquish that momentum. They want to hold it till the end of the game now.
Here's the lead to Aldridge, off tackle to the left. Good tackle applied by the defensive back, Corey Sayer, for the Titans, and he limits them to about a 3.5-yard gain. The O'Neill Titan defense features Vince Pierno at the nose tackle. The ends are Kyle Hoffert, 56, and Randy Strachensky, a fine two-way player, number 72. Here's a quick gift to Aldrich, and I believe that's Huber meeting him in the hole. And once more, I'm wrong. I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's Brent Marcotte, the right inside linebacker in that 35 look, who meets him in the hole and limits them to about a 4.5-yard gain. It's going to be third and very, very short.
I know Coach Tim McGrew speaks very highly of Brent Marcotte. He is very versatile. He plays two ways, punter. He's one of these guys that you love to have all the time, but you can't sometimes.
Good run by Rutten, and he spit through, and it looked like he might have been going for a long one, but unable to keep his balance. In any event, it's easily a first down for the Mustangs across center field to the 53-yard line of the O'Neill Titans.
Yeah, Mike got tripped up right at the last split second there. Mike's limping a little bit. I don't think that he's totally 100% after.
There's Rutten again, running off tackle right this time for about a 6-yard gain. Going to be about 2nd and 3. McGuigan really seems to be starting to control the line of scrimmage. That big offensive line that they have seems to be really putting O'Neill back on his heels. That time, the O'Neill defense, and what makes a liar out of me, is they come up big and stuff to play for virtually no gain.
It'll be held in Regina November the 11th.
If Regina is there.
If Regina is there.
It'll be, I believe it'll be held at the home field of the South representative this year. Little double wham that time to the right side of the line. It's going to be close to first down. We'll have to wait until they unpile to decide what's happening. 59 the right guard, and Jeff Obergewitz, 61 the right tackle. They've really been doing a good job. Up front for the Titans, of course, they're met by the front three, Pierno, Hoffert, Strachensky, and this time it looked as though those three, aided by the 5 fine linebackers, Jason Kotick, number 53, 35 Chad Walbaum, 45 Brent Marcotte, whose name we've mentioned quite often, Jamie Splett and Doug Huber, came victorious. It's the ball's turned over on downs, 1st and 10 for O'Neill. A good run that time because the fullback Walbaum was hit right in the hole by number 47 Mike DeFossi, and he was very determined and very tough-minded to pick up the 3 or 4 yards that he did. 2nd and 6. Pretty well staying with their 34 defense. They feature nose tackles, 2 defensive ends, 2 outside linebackers, 2 inside linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. And they've been doing a fine job with that straight-up defense. Reese on the quarterback keeper, and lots of orange shirts there that time. He's driven to the turf. Number 44 there again. We've been mentioning his name off and on all night. Graveldinger there, along with Mike DeFosse again. There's Campbell. Walbaum got the ball. He surges ahead, and an awfully good-looking third down gamble for O'Neill. And that may be the kind of exciting play to get an offensive team pumped up and ready to do some things. Remember that we said at the time that the big play for McGuigan in the first half might turn things around for them, trailing 14-0 at the time, and it did indeed turn them around, and they went on to put on 22 unanswered points. Flett kicking it to the outside, and he's got another first down. Near the sideline, about the 32-yard line, and I'm afraid that little lack of discipline there is going to cost the O'Neill Titans a few yards. They lose a little bit of concentration and gives us some important yards at a critical time in the game.
O'Neill's had three good plays in a row. It seems they're moving the ball now. Could be the momentum swinging back their way.
I think we're going to have a procedure penalty here. There's certainly some difficulty with the exchange in the backfield. Flett gets the ball eventually and really picks up about 4 or 5 yards, but I think it's going to be a 1st and 15 situation for the O'Neill Titans. On the field.
2 of the McGuigan players got in there quite quickly again.
High formation. Here's a counter to Newman. This time it's stuff. They had success with that play early on. Number 65 is there for the defense of the Mustangs. Don't have him on our depth chart immediately. It's Conrad Sparrowhawk, and a good play by Conrad as he drops him for perhaps a short loss on the play. It's going to be 3rd and about 15. We have the field goal team on for the O'Neill Titans. Number 32, Doug Huber, out of the hold of Marco Reese, the quarterback. And it's blocked from the outside. It's number 35, Bob Aldrich was there. Obviously another important two-way player from McGuigan. He was there for the block.
There's a flag down on the field, down by the goal line, Jerry. Referee's talking to seems to be the O'Neill captains right now. We'll just wait and see what his call is.
3rd and 6, and it looks as though O'Neill has decided to try and take advantage of that little lapse and see if they can pick up another first down. He's Reese on the quarterback keeper right, cuts it back to the inside. He's going to score.
He got a touchdown.
Last play of the 3rd quarter, that's Marco Reese.
That's what makes Marco Reese so dangerous. He can run, and there's a good situation. He should never have gotten the first down. There's a couple guys that made attempted tackles, and he broke them and just went straight up through the middle.
An interesting decision now to be reached by Tim Magoo and his coaching staff for O'Neill, whether to go for the 2-point convert now or the single convert. They've certainly got a good kicker in Huber. O'Neill went for a 2-point convert to try and tie the score at 22-all. They did do so. Flag came down, and they unfortunately were charged with illegal procedure, no end, and they'll have to do it again from the 10-yard line. And maybe now they'll be kicking the convert. We'll have to wait and see.
There's where another mental error came into play, and it could have cost them 2 points, possibly only 1.
Okay, without that penalty, the score would be tied at 22-all. Now they're hoping to be trailing by only 1. There's the kick, and it's definitely far enough. It's definitely through. No flags are down. The score changes. At the end of the 3rd quarter of play, the score is the McGuigan Mustangs 22, the O'Neill Titans 21, and it's bouncing down. number 33, Richard Hussett, has the ball, and he is quick too. He manages to find a seam up near the 50, but a flag comes down, and normally on a kick return we have some kind of an illegal block, and our fine spotter and Tom's official authority on how to hold the offensive line coach here is indicating that it was indeed that. First and 10 for McGuigan after the penalty from their own 20-yard line. There's motion across by McIntyre. Toss to Aldridge, and boy, he's a big man who runs hard. He's got himself a big gain, and unfortunately another red hanky's down. We'll have to wait and see what the situation is. This time it's the referee who's throwing the flag, so take a little bit less time. Against O'Neill, we have a hold, I believe. I would think from where the flag was, Brian, that hold would have taken place before the first down was registered, so it'll move into a 1st and 20 situation from the 10. Will not end in a tie. There'll be overtime. I believe that the overtime situation, if it happens to come for that for high school football, is 2 5-minute quarters followed by sudden death. Net in the hole. Number 37, Rob McIntyre, virtually no gain. Jamie Splett there for the Titans.
With McGuigan getting those 2 penalties in a row, they've dug themselves into quite a deep hole down their 10-yard line. And 2nd and 19 to go right now.
The 35 defense that I was mentioning earlier of O'Neill, Pierno, Hofford, Frachensky up front, Kotick, Walbaugh, Marcotte, Splett, and Huber the linebackers. Corey Sayre, Domenico Palomera, Kelly Newman, and Kirk Fair, the defensive back. Here's August throwing the ball from his own end zone, and coverage applied there by the linebacker, number 45. We'll be mentioning his name all night, Brent Marcotte, and unfortunately a young guy is hurt. There's a potential receiver, that's McIntyre. After a safety touch, there are 3 options. They can accept the kickoff, they can kick the ball off themselves, or scrimmage from their own 35. And things do not look good. Obvious pain registered by Bob Aldridge. McGuigan will be kicking off from their own 35. And it's down to the 42-yard line, gathered in there by Newman. He scampers about, evades one tackler, and he's across the center field to about the 54-yard line.
Okay, Aldridge is up now, and they're helping him. He's got support by 2 people. They're bringing him down. I imagine they're taking him into the first aid room under the stands.
Very tentative steps on that left leg, Brian, and right now I think that what we're all hoping is that the injury is not a debilitating one, that I don't know whether he could play again this game, but hopefully it's not the kind of situation where it really does something to end his career or to interrupt his career, because he's got a future in football. Trips to the left for O'Neill. Motion back to the right side. Ricci throwing the ball, trying to one-hand it is Newman, but unable to make the connection. Good coverage applied by number 37, Rob McIntyre that time, and it's incomplete. 2nd and 10. Same formation again for the Titans. Same play action. This time Ricci carrying the ball to the right. Too many orange shirts there, however. He's driven out of bounds for a short loss on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and about 12 or 13 yards. And McGuigan, now trailing 23-22, is going to have another opportunity to move the ball. Caught back to punt for O'Neill. He'll be receiving the ball about his own 41. Fortunately for number 33, Hussett, the returner, one of his players was there to cover the fumble. And McGuigan is going to scrimmage the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 27. Stewart has Mike Rutten move to fullback, and Hussett moves to the tailback. So we'll have to wait and see what does happen. That is Rutten with the ball, and coming out of the fullback position. He's up ahead to about the 35-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of the first down. New fullback is number 36, Michael LaFontaine. We've seen him get some action earlier at linebacker. And that's LaFontaine with the ball, and not a bad runner himself. He picked up a couple of tough yards running in the B gap on the left side.
He's another one of these tough two-way players. If McGuigan needs him. He's not overly tall, but he's a pretty stocky boy, and he can handle the ball quite well as a runner.
Yeah, he's listed here at only 5'8", but 180 pounds, and that's fair size for high school ball. Rutten in motion, throwing the ball on the out pattern to, I believe that was number 77 for the Mustangs, Borsa. Over his head, it's going to be 2nd and 10. Steve, Palomera and Sayer, the corners for the O'Neill Titans. Their quarterback sweep for McGuigan. Page out of the playbook of the O'Neill Titans. That's number 1, Brian August, carrying the ball. He steps out of bounds. There's a little EC action on the sideline, but essentially goes for naught. There's a very short gain on the play. It'll be about 2nd and 8. 3rd and 8, rather. 3rd and 8 for McGuigan. They're back in punt formation. Single returner back for O'Neill, perhaps going after the block. Definitely coming after the block. Unable to get there. And the ball is bouncing around. Newman jumps on top of the ball. That time number 67 was there for the Mustangs. Obviously too close to the play.
7 is
Wayne Patterson, fine two-way lineman for the Mustangs, slipped to the ground virtually on top of the ball. The 10-yard penalty will be exact. .6:35 remaining, a 23-22 lead for the O'Neill Titans. They have the ball at the 50-yard line. Not much there. Big Dean Van Dramen there for the Mustangs out of his left defensive end position, and Jamie Splett goes to the turf 2 yards in his own backfield.
Another Mustang down on the far side.
Instant pressure. Reese goes down in the hands of number 56, Van Dremen. I'm not sure whether Dean Van Dremen was lined up there as a linebacker or in his end position. I'm wondering if maybe he was shifted to the linebacker when Grebeldinger went down. Not according to our depth chart.
He seems to be more in the middle towards the nose, but he got through there rather quickly.
He sure did. We see him lined up on this punt in the nose position. I'm wondering if they've moved him down to nose tackle. Marcotte gets the ball away. It's gathered in about the 33-yard line, and finding the sideline is number 88 for the Mustangs. That's their starting flanker, I believe. Michael Ball. He's up to about the 45-yard line. A flag came down in a position that normally indicates an illegal block. That's Mike Rutten. running off tackle left, good blocking, good seam, and just tripped up, or he might have gone for more. It's going to be close to first down, about a 9-yard gain.
Just as he got tripped up, he only had one other player to beat, and he would have been open field for another touchdown. That's how dangerous he is when he gets a hold of that ball.
You mean like that, Brian?
Just like that. He's gone. He weaves his way through, got to the outside, and it was a touchdown.
Really not a lot can be said about that. That it wasn't shown much finer with that camera following him downfield. An excellent run by an excellent running back. Decision time on the McGuigan bench, where we can see a little discussion among the coaches whether to go for 1 or 2. The score now is 28-23, a 5-point lead. They can move it to 6 or 7. And it looks as though they decided to go for 2. Instant yards, instant points out of Mike Rutten. 3rd touchdown this game for Rutten.
In the past, if they've gone for the 2 points, it's just a pitch to Rutten, who comes to his right.
And it's that double blast. Good defense by O'Neill. A whole horde of tacklers there, led by Schwarczewski and Huber. They're held out, so the score is going to remain here with 4:32 left in the 4th quarter of this RIFL Stewart Conference Championship game. 28 for the McGuigan Mustangs, 23 for the O'Neill Titans.
It's that much more pressure on the McGuigan offense.
I'll tell you what, though, it's a sign of a good team and a well-coached team that can bounce back from adversity. And there's Kelly Newman heading to the sideline. He's got himself a good return out to about the 51 or 52-yard line. To lose a player of Aldrich's quality and then have a young man like Michael LaFontaine come in at the fullback and do an admirable job, and when things look grim, go ahead and score that big touchdown. You got to give credit to McGuigan, the quality of player that they have there,
and they've got good depth on their team as well.
52-yard line, 1st and 10 for O'Neill. There's the lead to Split off the right side, and he's got himself about a 4.5 to 5-yard gain. Decent line surge that time. Leading the tackling once again, I believe, is Van Dremen, Dean Van Dremen for the Titans. Mustangs. Approximately 2nd and 5. There's a toss to Splet, sees the seam, cuts it back inside, and he drags some people ahead to the 42. Tackle made there by number 27, Sherlin Hussett. Holds them from going even further, but it's a good gain for Splet.
And it's another key first down for the O'Neill Titans. They have 3 minutes and 34 seconds in which to get the lead back.
Here's the straight-ahead dive to the fullback. That McGuigan Mustang front 7 is grudgingly giving up yards, though. There are no easy yards there at all. Tackles led there by number 59, I believe that was, from his defensive line position. I think coming from the defensive end. Jarvis Pelche, and then playing out of the nose tackle now is Dean Van Dremen. Here's a toss to Splet left. Good contact. He bounces off one man and takes it ahead inside the 30 to first down territory. And pretty good running for a guy who's used to traveling on skates.
Well, there's a good indication. He got stopped with about a 2-yard gain. He broke it and got the first down for him. And it was 2nd and 9. So full credit goes to James Splet on that run.
And one thing to be remembered at all times, I've mentioned it before, and it's really important, the notion that a team reflects its coach, its head coach, and there's not going to be any quit in this O'Neill team. They split again, just too many orange shirts that time as finally he's knocked down by, I think that was number 37, Rob McIntyre, coming from his backer position. Perhaps a loss on the play of a yard. It'll be second or about 11.
Well, right now, Jamie Sweat's been the big workhorse for the O'Neill Titans, so McGuigan linebackers and linemen are going to be keying on him. They're going to be watching for him to get that ball.
And it's quarterback sweep. Reese looking to cut it back in, loses his feet, but there were just too many Mustangs there anyhow. LaFontaine was there, number 47, Mike Desfossi was there as well, and I think a further loss in the play, another 3 or 4 yards. It's going to be third and about 14. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to be played, and really a critical situation for O'Neill. Normally their field goal kicker, that's Doug Huber, is in, and perhaps they're going for 3. No, he's gone to the fullback position. And throwing it downfield for Randy Krachensky is Reese, and he's unable to make the connection. Ball will go over on down to the McGuigan Mustangs. 2 minutes, 16 seconds remaining, and I think that's Reese who's down on the field.
Yes, I believe it is as well. I never saw what happened there, whether he got hit after the play, but he is down. Bill Brennan, one of the McGuigan coaches, came running out right away. He's rolling around in quite a bit of pain down there. So,
for the ankle or cramp, or I have no idea what it is exactly. The knee, from the look of his pants, they've been looking at the right knee, and it looks as though whatever it was wasn't too terribly serious. He's able to walk to the sideline himself. In any event, with 2:16 remaining, McGuigan Mustangs hold their own destiny in their hands. First and 10 from their own 32-yard line, having turned the ball over on downs, and nothing like a couple of first downs here to run out the clock would make.
Well, McGuigan's got the type of team that they'll grind the ball up the middle, outside on you. They can win this game.
There's LaFontaine, the fullback, and tell you what, although obviously they didn't want to lose Bob Aldridge, a fine football player, a two-way starter, and very important cog. Here's Rutten again. Finds the seam, and he's got about another 9-yard gain. And obviously the partisan on the right-hand side of the stands, say a good crowd from McGuigan, are ecstatic at what's happening. A little hush falls over the O'Neill side as that clock moves relentlessly downward towards the 0 mark, and McGuigan Mustangs, barring some kind of an incident, look as though they'll pick up another first down here and be virtually assured of running out the clock. Ball is given straight ahead to the power back. McIntyre, I believe, the fullback LaFontaine, and he's across the 3A city champions will be the McGuigan Mustangs. Traditional power here. A little broken play there. Looked as though someone had misinformation, whether it was Rutten or quarterback August, we don't know. But the play goes for a couple-yard loss. It's going to be second and about 12, but 50 seconds remaining, and things looking pretty good. At the conclusion of the game, the Commissioner of Sports in Regina, Doug Folk, will be presenting the championship trophy to the captains of the McGuigan Mustangs. And again, a reminder to those of you who are watching this game, whether it's Sunday morning or Tuesday evening, that Taylor Field, Friday, November the 4th, 7:30 p.m., the other conference championship game will be played. The Tom Trojans will be entertaining the Levolda's Golden Suns in the city championship.
O'Neill should be given full credit for their efforts here tonight and for their full season. Coach Tim Magoo has done an excellent job in his first year as head coach over at O'Neill, bringing in his team from 4th place in the regular season all the way up to the city finals. So full credit goes to the O'Neill players, coaching staff.
8:23 McGuigan. 26 seconds officially remaining on the clock. And barring a miracle finish, McGuigan Mustangs, a perennial power in Stewart Conference football, are going to gain another city championship.
So they have made the playoffs for the last 10 years in a row since their first year. So that's quite a record to uphold as well.
August, the quarterback, keeping the ball, looking, just running some time off the clock, and he's back to his own 50-yard line, ran 7 seconds off the clock, but O'Neill really does have a chance there at the 49-yard line of McGuigan. 19 seconds, perhaps time for 2 or 3 plays, and then the nature of high school ball, Brian, anything can happen. We know it can happen because it quite often does. And we'll have to see what happens in the last half minute or so. Shotgun, Reese back to throw. And he's throwing it downfield and going to Kelly Newman, and he's got the ball, takes it out of bounds at the 21-yard line, and perhaps we were awarding a championship a little prematurely.
That's possible. Reese backed up into that shotgun. He threw that ball a good long distance. Newman has got good hands. There's 3 McGuigan players there in coverage, and he caught it and stepped out of bounds.
I think that that little throw there of some 20 yards demonstrated, or 30 yards rather, demonstrated why we've got the all-star quarterback coming out of O'Neill this year, Marco Reese.
He's a very versatile player. He can run.
I think the screen speaks for itself. An incomplete pass that was inches away. Pardon me, that's a touchdown. High school football at its finest. The Big Ben, or whatever you want to call it, the tip drill goes ahead. Number 19 for the O'Neill Titans gathers in the big touchdown pass. That's Tim Lip. I've never had an opportunity to say his name all night. Ball bounces out of Newman's hands to Tim Lip with 5 seconds remaining in the game. The O'Neill Titans apparently have won this game. They take a lead 29-28 with convert yet to come. 5 seconds remaining.
Well, I guess we have to eat our words on who is going to be the city champion this year.
I guess so, and quite frankly, although as we kept saying, high school football, you never know what's going to happen. I really didn't expect this to happen.
I didn't
tell you,
either.
I'm awfully happy for Timmy Magoo and his Titans. I'm awfully sad for Daryl Puskas and his players and coaches, because they really did an outstanding job tonight. But holy smokes, that's high school ball.
Well, as you said, barring
a miracle.
and
we had one tonight.
Yes.
We had a miracle.
O'Neill still has 5 seconds. They have to kick off to McGuigan Mustangs. Who knows? McGuigan may come back and run one back for a touchdown.
Yeah, we've already awarded it one time incorrectly. Maybe we're going to do that again.
You're wise. We will wait for 5 more seconds.
I think so. Anyhow, again, if you're out there watching this game in the comfort of your home, drop out to Taylor Field next Friday. There's another championship game on the line, and high school football is about as exciting as they get. This side of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the original Heartbreak Sport. Good coaching decision, I think. 3 seconds remaining on the clock. Deciding keep the ball out of the hands of Mike Rutten on the return. He's already stung them for one touchdown on a punt return in the first half. McGuigan will be scrimmaging the ball from their own 47-yard line. One last play, one last kick at the catch. And I'm not going to make any predictions. I learned my lesson. is in the air, going to Rutten, and I believe it is intercepted. The clock now registers no time to play. The 1988 Stewart Conference city champions, the O'Neill Titans, and what a Cinderella story. And sure got to admire the heart and the determination of the O'Neill Titans. You also got to feel sorry for the valiant McGuigan Mustangs, and really that was as exciting a game of high school ball as I've ever seen. For Brian Duck.